Thank you so much for joining us on this absolutely fine day. We appreciate each and every one of you for being here with us. We thank you for being on us with Wednesday. As above, so below, we're talking about mercurial energy. I'm actually opening one of these meteorites. But I thank God for each and every one of you guys. Hopefully you guys are being notified that I am live, and I want to share some stuff with you on this day, because this is normally our Bible study day, and this is where we learn a lot of information. And one of the things you guys know that I like to give you guys an opportunity to be able to actually learn from my classes, and it's all about getting information so the mind is conducive to the information that is going to be given. I want to also say thank you to each and every one of you guys, to my Patreon family, to my YouTube family, TikTok and Instagram, and to each and every one of you guys. I also want to talk about today why magic is so very, very important to a lot of people that actually do these practices, and why many of you guys may see the lack thereof of certain participations in certain events and stuff. And I want to share my personal experiences so that many of you guys will understand what it is to be in these ATRs, universal laws that are in operation. And I do realize that people do not care to actually do history. They don't care to, they want to start basically like a movie. You want to start with your favorite part. And that's not what spirituality is. That's not, you can't pick up where you came in. You have to have an understanding of the past, the present, and the future. And to be able to operate in destiny is to understand how you connect to all of this. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, I'm mindful of the spells that I do. I'm mindful of the associations I have. I'm mindful of the things I do with my mind, my body, as well as my energy, which is my spirit. And I really hope that this lesson today on a Bible study day, that you guys actually take the time out to go back over this more than one time, so you can actually get the nectar from what I am going to be discussing. I want to say hello to each and every one of you guys once again, my E5 brothers, sisters, in every ATR, whether you're in E5, Voodoo, Santeria, Lakumi, Congo, Palo, whether you're a mystic, Aj, whether you're a witch, whether you are in the States, out of the States, or whether you are a type of individual that just began, or you have been, you feel like you're on the intermediate level, or you feel advanced. This is going to apply to you, and hopefully that you will be able to get the benefit of what I am going to teach and why this is necessary. So next time that you step to a spiritualist and you want to get an ancestral reading, or you want to deal with your ancestors through the ATRs or any other form of African diaspora, that you have a better clarity of what to expect, and to sober many of you guys that are seeking your ancestry, so that you will be able to perform real magic and at the level of your gifting and ability. Okay, I want to say to my Christian buddies before I get started as well, these are the cards that I read from. These are the 72 names of God, technology of the soul. What I do is destiny readings, and I also do shadow readings as well. I like to look at what's really going on, you understand? So a lot of times we deal with the symptoms and not actually from the core of the source of where things originate from. When you get rid of the root of a thing, you actually get rid of the branches, the trunk of the tree, you get rid of the leaves. You understand? The root is where everything comes and derives from. So I also want to say hello to my Pisces, Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Aquarius, Cancer, Capricorn, Leo, Sagittarius, Scorpio, Libra, and Virgo. Hello to each and every one of you guys. I want to say that this is an opportunity for a lot of you guys to grow and to understand why certain herbs resonate with you, certain crystals, certain trees resonate with you versus others. And this is what I want to talk about when it comes to ancestors and understanding those readings. I'm going to be coming from first Acts, the 7th chapter. I'm burning incense, blockbuster incense. I'm going to be coming from Acts, the 7th chapter, 31 through 32. And it simply says this, guys. When Moses saw it, he wondered at the sight, And as he drew near to the and beheld it, the voice of the Lord came unto him, saying, I am, listen to this part, I am the God of thy fathers, the God of Abraham, the God of Isaac, the God of Jacob. Then Moses trembled and durst not behold. Now, why is this important when it comes to ancestor reading or working with your ancestors? One of the main things that people fail to realize when it comes to ancestor reading, you need to know what type of energies that your ancestors were working with. What type of allegiance did they pledge themselves to do? I think that a lot of times when we get excited about the ancestors, we are thinking about things of, oh, I'm going to deal with the spirits of people of my past. Well, a part of doing ancestor reading is to understand the energy that are the spirits or the entities or the deities they work with. And those spirits are still attached to that particular lineage, that particular bloodline. The tribe, whether you have been, whether you are a slave, whether you are free, it does not matter. When we get initiated into certain ATRs or certain religions or spiritual covens, we not only tie ourselves to those spirits or that entity or that energy, but we also tie our bloodline to that. So whether you have children, I have already had children, or whether you are going to have children, these are also ancestry, okay? I think that a lot of times people don't realize that when it comes down to you performing magic, the reason why you want to figure out what type of ancestor lineage you come from is because what type, whether they're in hoodoo, voodoo, Santeria, Lakumi, Congo, Palo, or maybe they are Kabbalahs, whether they're Ajay, whether you need to figure out whether they're doing high magic, low magic, whether they were doing dark working of helping people or destroying people. All of this matters when you're doing ancestor reading and what type of spirits that are at work with your ancestors before you even got here. I don't believe that a lot of people, what's up there, Sister Harriet Capricorn in the house. I don't believe that a lot of people realize that you don't know all the things that your ancestors have done. And that can go from 5 generations all the way back to 7, even to some to 9. When it comes down to spirituality and you're trying to get whole, a lot of times when people get into spirituality, they just want to start with where they are. When Moses was being confronted by God, he was being spoken to, and the spirit of that particular God revealed to him, not only am I with you, I was with your father Abraham, I was with your father Isaac, I was with your father Jacob. This, I want y'all to understand something. This goes beyond you. If you're going to do an ancestral reading or get and you want people to tap into that particular energy, you have to understand it is about your bloodline. What's up, Minister Mario, son of Ochosi? What's up, Natasha Foster, Aquarius in the house from North Carolina? And what led me to believe this, because people keep asking me for ancestral reading, and I don't really think they understand ancestral reading. And even if you have gotten a so-called ancestral reading, you still have to understand that once that spirit that your ancestors have been revealed to you, then your next response or responsibility is you need to understand what type of relationship was given, what type of oath, what type of commitment, what type of debts may be owed to that said spirit or entity. Y'all don't know what grandma did. Y'all don't know what granddaddy did. Y'all don't know what auntie did. You don't know what great uncle or father did, or what kind of pledge they made to those spirits or deities. This has nothing to do with good or evil. This has to do with what your bloodline committed to. It's just like a debt. When you are in with somebody that you are married to that's in a debt, the bill collectors can come after you. If the children, they have children, those debt collectors can come for the debt of that particular parent. This is what y'all need to understand. When you're dealing with ancestry, you're not just dealing with you want to just deal with the aspect, oh, what kind of gifts did my ancestors have? No, what kind of issues, what kind of sicknesses, what kind of dilemmas, were they married, whether they side pieces. Like, this is the stuff that people don't want to talk about. They only want to hear about, oh, my grandmother was a seer, or my grandmother was a root worker, or my grandmother was an Eastern Star, or my grandfather was a Mason, or my grandfather, great-great-grandfather was a powerful mystic. All of that. But what type of energy, what kind of person, what kind of life? Because when you deal with ancestors, you're dealing with people that had a life on earth. Whether they live 30 years, whether they live 12 years, whether they live 50 years, 60 years, 100 years. What were they doing with that magic, with that energy, with that entity, with that spirit while they were living? This is what real ancestry reading is about. Not only do you want to know who you are, you want to know who they've already committed your blood to. When I got initiated, I did that with my children knowing, because I wasn't just bringing me into that initiation. I was bringing my children and my children's children and my grandchildren and so forth and so on. When you guys are getting these readings, it is not just about you getting the will, is about you hearing from somebody of ancestral descent. You need to have understanding. That's why your doctor wants to know what was the ailments, what kind of condition was going on in your bloodline, so he or she can diagnose what type of issue that may be occurring in your life or may occur in your later down in your life. Did they live long? Did they live healthy? You understand? What's up there, Shanice Dennis? What's up, baby, my Leo? I ain't seen you in a minute. In a new year. Because a part of me teaching real magic is for people to understand, when you place an ancestor on your altar, you're placing the whole ancestor on the altar. You're not just placing what you want that ancestor to do. You're placing their mindsets, their fears, you're placing their health concerns, you're placing their sexual habits, your financial habits. You are bringing that entity into your home, into your personal space, and they are going to be who they are on your altar if you are not regulating them. I'm gonna say that again. Just because, I'm using an example, if my grandmother was walking with me, my grandmother's here to assist me, not to relive her life through me. So therefore, I'm going to put certain restrictions down. Are y'all understanding me? Ancestral readings is just not about finding out who in your bloodline practiced voodoo or Santeria or Lukumi or Congo or was a mystic or Agi or witch. It is also understanding how they function in life, because they are the same energetic beings that they're going to function in your life. And you need to determine what aspect that you want them to interfere in your life. Just like you have certain categories of people in your bloodline that you, what's up there, Nikki Smith, and also Karen O'Brien, Gemini. When you're dealing with ancestors, guys, you're not dealing with partial. You're not dealing with what you want to deal with. You're bringing and you're allowing that being in all of its glory, I'm going to use that term, to be in your space. Not part of their mind, all of their mind. Not part of what they went through in life, all of what they brought in through, because that's what you have to work with. And if this is why I believe in venerating ancestors and elevating them. This is why I believe in cleansing. If you have ever been initiated or got into any of the ATR, they all talk about cleansing. You know why you want to cleanse? Because you want to remove any negative energy, not only off of you, but off of the spirits that you're working with. You want to keep them clean. This is why you put the water there. That's why you put the hyssop there. This is why you use certain herbs and spices to cleanse those spirits. You just do not let them free willy-nilly operate in your personal space. I don't care if you're in a house. I don't care if you're in an apartment. I don't care where you live at. The whole concept of ancestors is to understand that they are bloodline, and they also bring themselves to your workings. Not just the magic. Also, if they were busybodies, if they were very broke people or financially challenged people, that's there too. You're bringing all that into your energy. So this is a responsibility Ancestor altars are a responsibility. You do not determine what type. What you do determine is how much of them you want to be operating in your life. I hope this is really gonna help people. When I do my classes and stuff, I call y'all ancestors. The reason why it takes me so long because I have to cleanse myself, I have to protect myself, because I don't know what your ancestor gonna bring into my space. When people are doing real readings for you and they're dealing with your ancestors, they're dealing with the energy. What if they died in a terrible a car accident or died of a terrible disease? They're bringing that energy, especially if they have not been cleansed and elevated. I'm going to say it again. Especially if they have not been cleansed, purified. In the Catholic Church, they call it purgatory, so they can be cleansed. That's why it costs so much money, y'all. That's why you want somebody that knows what they're doing. So when they bring in certain spirits, and if those spirits are strong, say if they were initiated into certain practices, they also come with those spirits. They don't just come by themselves. They come with the spirit they worked with when they were living. If grandma worked with Mr. John when she was living, Mr. John's spirit is still, or energy is still on grandma when she come and would come up in a reading. So I hope y'all understand that. All right, I'm eating some Skittles. So, the energy of the ancestor work, the energy of your ancestors, what they work with and what they work for. I need to clarify that. Some people use Malika, some people use Ganesh, some people use Ezeli Fried. I'm just putting out some names, right? Now I need to understand what energies, what spirits, what deities they work with. And then after I find out what they were, how many of those spirits were they working for? Because some of those made pacts with those spirits. So they work for those spirits, so those spirits will work for them in return. The whole thing about initiation is a commitment to a certain spirit or deity or God, goddess, or vibrational frequency. Call it what you will. That needs to be understood. That's why you got to know certain things before you work with certain ancestors, especially if they were initiated in voodoo, Santeria, Lukumi, Congo, and Palo, because you have to be initiated in order to work effectively with that spirit. Did they tell you that? Did they tell you that if grandmother was an Eastern Star, there's certain things that you have to do in order to fully work with that spirit? And when my spiritual dad was doing work for me, my spiritual dad was also initiated as a Mason. So he was able to work with spirits that were initiated in Eastern Star and Masonry. If voodoo, then you're able to work with those spirits more effectively. Y'all gotta understand, there are rules and regulations to this ancestral stuff. And there's only so much access you're going to have for a certain spirit unless those spirits were not committed to anything. I want clarity. When you guys get into it and you start opening up certain doors to your ancestors and you're not understanding all that comes along with the workings of working with ancestors. Then we got John the 9th chapter. This got me. John the 9th chapter. So, I want to know who my ancestors working with. What's up there? Williams Jones. I want to know who my ancestors working with. What kind of prayers, what kind of workings that my bloodline were doing. Were they doing money magic? Were they trying to take somebody's husband, wife? Whether they're doing breakup work? Like what type of magic now that I know what you working with, now what were you doing with that magic or the relationship you had with that spirit? That matters too. John 9, verse 2 through 3. It said, and his disciples asked him, saying, Master, who did sin, this man or his parents, that he was born blind? Jesus answered neither have this man sinned, nor his parents, but that the works of God should be made manifest in him. Now, Apostle, what does that have to do with my spiritual walk and ATR, whether it's hoodoo, voodoo, Santeria, Lukumi, Palo, Obeah, Mystic, Adject, it don't matter. What does God do? First of all, I wrote down here, why certain things happen in your life. Some things can happen in your life because a spirit wants to reveal itself. A lot of times we trying to figure out whether somebody did something in the lineage that has certain patterns going on in life. But there's other things that happen in ancestral reading. When a spirit wants you to work with it, or a spirit wants to reveal itself to you, that spirit, whether male or female, will cause problems in your life because that spirit wants to get your attention. And most of us, the truth be told, the only time that we pay attention is when trouble start happening. We start asking, most of us start asking questions and start seeking help. And in that way that you go get that reading, that is that opportunity for that spirit to reveal itself to you. I'm going to say it again. In your spiritual journey, in your quest for ancestry understanding, understand that everything going in your life has nothing to do with the sin of your mother, the sin of your father, or the sin. I'm using the concept of sin because I don't believe in sin. I believe that we fall short of the measure of our understanding of who we are. And as long as we do not operate in that, we are living beneath our benefits and privileges. That's my personal concept. Okay, so, but I want to, if you understand that when it deals with ancestor and understanding the readings of ancestor reading, sometimes you start finding out that you needed to be initiated, or you need to follow a certain path, or you needed to give a certain offering, because this spirit is revealing itself. And the only way that most of us start asking any of those type of questions, it start when we start having problems in our life. Having problems, whether that's financial, whether that is mental, whether that is health-wise, it doesn't matter. That spirit will find a way to get to you, to get you to find out who it is. And that is also important when you are getting ancestral readings. This is why you want to spend time with certain diviners, because they can help you understand why certain things are happening in your life, whether it has anything to do with you or nothing to do with you, and more to do with the spirit trying to reveal itself to you. If it wasn't for what Moses went through in the story of Moses, he would have never met God. God allowed Moses to go through those situations and kill that Egyptian, run away to the backside of the mountain to find the burning bush. Y'all got to understand, when we talk about God's plan or purpose, whether you call him Olodumare, the Mighty and Zombie, El Shaddai, Christ Jesus, you call divine feminine or masculine energy, you got to understand this. Just like Christians believe that God will insert himself in a situation to reveal himself like he did to Moses, your ancestral spirits or certain spirits that have been walking with will do the exact same thing. What's up there, my Gemini from South Africa? When you get an ancestral reading, you're not just getting a reading about a man or a woman or who's in your bloodline or whether you should practice voodoo. You need to understand why you're supposed to be practicing voodoo. You should understand why you should be practicing hoodoo. You should, because a part of getting into this initiation, because you don't know who else in your bloodline done practice voodoo, but they done did some dirty work, and you need to go in there and bring positive energy to voodoo those spirits, because that last ancestor owed those spirits and they died without paying. This is another thing y'all don't realize. If your ancestry left this world before time, that means they did not finish their work. I'm going to say it again. If your ancestors left before time, car accident, diseases, murder, don't matter. But they did not finish their course, and they weren't ready to be offered up, as we say in the church. Then when you start working with them, they still need to fulfill their destiny. And they will try to fulfill it through you. Maybe that's why they are coming up and approach. That's why you don't force ancestors to come forward. You let the ones that want to come forward, because they have a purpose of why they are revealed. Spirits just do not reveal themselves to you because y'all blood. They have a purpose in mind. If they're going to share their gift, talent, or information with you, they're doing that for a reason. They're not just free willy-nilly giving you assistance or gift or support without a purpose. And that's what you need to be understanding. Anybody that dealt with my grandmother's spirit, she would not get up and work unless they helped her children. I'm going to say it again. My biological grandmother, when she passed, and people were trying to mess with her spirit, unless they were going to help her children, she wouldn't do anything. You need to know when you're going to somebody's grave or dealing with your ancestors, there may be stipulations on why or when they will help you. And this is what people don't look at when it comes down to getting ancestor reading. All they're concerned about is, did anybody have power in my bloodline? I need an ancestor reading then because that makes sense. Yeah, but it not don't just make sense. It's why you want to know and why you need to know. And also you need to be prepared for whatever may reveal itself and be ready to deal with whatever it may be. And that's what another problem I have with people, because I'm just going to take it from this perspective that you just don't know. You're just ignorant of understanding what ancestors are and ancestor reading. When people have been murdered, people have been cut off before time, they may come with a vengeance. They may come with a confusion. They may come with a sorrow, a regret. You never know. This is why we do libations and elevating the ancestors depending on how they pass. And this is why I'm trying to tell you guys, this is a lifetime. This is not something you should just jump up and just get involved in. I mean, it sounds exciting. I guess I think maybe it sounds like, but you have to maintain these spirits. You have to keep these spirits in a place where they are not causing havoc in your life, but they're actually helping and assisting in your life. And that means you got to rule your own spirit before you try to rule another person's spirit, even if it's an ancestor. So what certain things happen to people in the bloodline is it passed down? Not necessarily. Things happen to reveal the presence of a spirit or a certain spirit that has a desire to be revealed. That makes sense? A spirit will come into your bloodline that has been with your bloodline for eons and chose to come to you, and it will start entering into your particular space. Now, just say for instance, you living in your house, right? All of a sudden, you 30 years old. That's the time the spirit decide that it wants to start dealing with you, right? It's been there watching you the whole time, but it's been watching you at a distance. Got nothing to do with good or evil. It's an ancestral spirit. That spirit been with your bloodline the whole time. So the spirit decided at the age of 30 to start dealing with you. So now the spirit has to find a way in. Think about this. Now it has to find a way in to get your attention. Into your house, into your life, around you, because it's been watching you. But now it wants to reveal itself to you. So now it has to come into your immediate atmosphere. It has to get into your auric field. It has to visit you in dreams. It has to utilize other people to get you to start asking questions. What is going on? Why is this breaking down? Why is this happening? Why is my relationship? It's doing all of that. It may look like chaos to you, but that is the only way. It's just like a child trying to get your attention. It is just like an animal trying to get your attention. It is doing whatever it can do where you can start realizing something is going on, so you can start asking a question, trying to find out, so it can lead you back to them. I agree. I had a dream on New Year's with my ancestors and asking for help. How many of you guys seen Wakanda, right? And in Wakanda, when the daddy died, right? The daddy had left certain things undone back on earth, right? So when his son becomes the Black Panther and he goes into the land of the ancestors, he doesn't find out till later on that his father killed his brother. See, when y'all dealing with ancestry, baby, the reason why I protect myself, because it's proper, but the young man did not know his daddy did all of that. He just looked up to his father because his father was king. But you didn't know that your father had killed his brother. And why your father. All this stuff was revealed through ancestral work. This is why you do ancestral working, because a lot of times you don't know why certain things are going on in your family and your family bloodline, because certain things people die with, they don't tell you. They don't tell you. Daddy didn't tell you he was sleeping with Mr. John. Daddy don't tell you that he got 3 other kids outside of your mom that you don't know nothing about. You understand? I'm just using that example. This is the kind of stuff that you find out when you're doing healing work, when you're trying to heal your ancestral line, because this is the information that people have chose to die with. And the only way, and some of them will try to prohibit you from finding out the truth. I'm going to say that again. There are ancestors that have secrets about them that they don't want nobody to know in life or in death. And they will try to prohibit you from finding out the truth. And you would think it's a demon or somebody working on you trying to stop you. But it's really that ancestor that do not want that information divulge. That's what the word I was looking for. Sean said, I started burning ancestor money since before Christmas on and through now, praying I am on the right path. Yeah, but this is the information we need to understand. I want people to venerate their ancestors that they understand. And then when you get an ancestor reading, you know what to expect. And then once you open that door, be ready to deal with whatever comes through that door. Because once you have made connections with that entity, that ancestor, they got your energy. You got their energy, because that's how you make the connection. The way that a lot of people, I have on my website, Guardian Angel Incense, that is for your higher beings and elevated ancestors. And the ancestor incense is to strengthen your ancestors and also to bring them in around you. Okay, I have so much stuff on my website, even on a very basic level, that you can get a lot of stuff done. Yes, there's heavier things that you can do and get workings done for you, for your ancestors, for you, your personal self-cleansing, all that. All that's good stuff. But I'm saying at the most basic level, I still want y'all to understand what is the ancestors, what are ancestral readings, why would you get one, what to expect, how to benefit from it, and don't just be opening up a door because out of curiosity. You understand? Make sure that you have an understanding why you have that ancestor on your altar, and tell them why they're there and what they have permission to do. If you just got somebody sitting on your altar and they have no instruction, then they can just roam freely and do them in your life. What if they don't like who you with? What if they don't like where you working at? What if they don't like what somebody else is doing? Because you gave them permission to be there. You gave them permission to be there, so they're not operating outside of your will. They're operating within the perimeter of your will because you called them. They didn't call you. Then I also got down here, this I think is very important for this, is Psalms 109, 8 through 12. It says this: let his days be few, and let another take his place. No, take his office. It said, let his children be fatherless, and his wife a widow. Let his children be continuously vagabonds, means wanderers, and beg, right? Let them seek their bread also out of a desolate or waste place. This is a curse. Let an extortioner catch all that he had. That means you constantly being conned out of your inheritance or whatever you got, right? Let strangers spoil his labor. People you don't even know don't even like you doing stuff against you, okay? Verse 12, and let there be none to extend mercy unto him. That means you find no help. Nobody finds compassion with you or your bloodline. Neither let there be any to favor his fatherless children. That means that even though you die, that nobody shows any type of mercy or compassion towards your children. Nobody feels sorry that you're motherless. Nobody feels sorry that you're fatherless. Like, this is the type of stuff that a lot of you guys, can we order the ancestor reading on the website, Apostle, or do we cash out you? My ancestor readings are the same thing as my consultation. You just have to stipulate that that's what we are focused on. If you get in my classes, I actually contact, and those that don't know, I literally contact your ancestor. Anybody that books in my classes, I work, which I don't believe that you can actually learn magic without your ancestors. So therefore, when I don't care if you're in my beginner's class, my intermediate class, or my advanced class, I work with your ancestors. Any practitioner or spiritualist that claim to be working for you that are not dealing with your ancestors are not telling you the truth. They're just not telling you the truth. Derek Jovan White prayed that on Facebook Live last year. Wow. So, and let me explain something, y'all, because I want y'all to really, I want you to be able to get the most out of your experience with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. So when you come out of that, you will know what kind of steps to take in order to be effective in your personal life. I had the most wild, vivid dream last night. It is because of the candle burn. Wow. Yeah, those candles are just like the energy in that place is something. I got to go there today. But let me stay on target. So I wrote down here, energies released against the unborn of the bloodline. There are people that your family members have gotten into it. And let's just assume that your ancestors were strong enough to ward whatever thrown at them. But they did not stop the work. They just repelled it off of them. Because these people are cursing. Hold on. Let me redo this. Listen what this person, I'm just saying person, if somebody doing this to you. They're asking that your days be few. That means you don't live out your lifespan. That if you got a job or a company, that somebody else get it from you. Then they're turning around and saying they want your children to be fatherless. That means that even if you're a man and you die, that your wife don't remarry, and that they still don't have a father figure in their life, whether it's a uncle, a cousin, or brother. That, like, this is the kind of stuff. And when you really look around your bloodline and look around your family, don't you see a lot of this sitting up inside your family? Why it's so hard for you to be in a relationship? It's so hard for you to advance financially. It is so hard for y'all to live a very healthy life because somebody done put the what's happening on one of your relatives. Either they got defeated by it or they did not protect the whole bloodline. Okay? Then it says in verse, and it says, and let your wife be a widow. That means that she never remarried. That means nobody else takes the helm of your family and make sure that your kids and your responsibilities are being guided. This is really, really, really important, guys. You got people doing all sorts of magic on people. That's what they do, especially in the church. You're reading stuff in the Bible that you ain't really being cognizant of what you're really speaking out your mouth, but this is the kind of stuff that goes on. Then it says in verse 10, let the children be continuously vagabond. That means, have you ever seen a family like, you trying to figure out like, this child has no goals. This child don't want nothing out of life. This man don't want nothing out of life. Vagabond means a wanderer. It say, and let them beg. There are some people, my uncle used to say, call them the beggars. Mama, here come the beggars. There is a curse that will cause your children and your ancestry to be wanderers. They from one place to the next, always begging for all their essential needs. This is something, I'm saying, does it matter if you are baptized or not? No, it does not matter. It does not matter. It really don't. Energy is never destroyed. It is transmuted, transformed, but never destroyed. But listen to this. I'm just trying to get y'all open, y'all understand when you're dealing with ancestors and you're trying to figure out like, why is this spirit Why everybody in this family can't hold a job? Why they don't have no goals? Somebody done worked this. Somebody done worked this on one person, but it done fell down from one child to the next child to the next child. And some of them are stronger than others. And you see certain full manifestations in one child versus just maybe fragments in another, because that child may be stronger or got other entities or spirits protecting them more so than the other child. Everybody don't have the same gift or the same ability of protection. It said, let them seek their bread also out of desolate places. That means that they're going to always beg for the crumbs. No matter how many opportunities out there, they're going to always ask for the crumbs. I want y'all to really think about what I'm saying and why this would be so important to you when you do your ancestry reading and when you do any type of magic. The level of responsibility. If this is being worked on you or worked on your family or has been worked on and you just didn't know it. Why certain things keep happening. Then it goes on to say, let an extortioner. This is when somebody has said, I want nothing but con artists in their life so they can never get on their feet. Somebody always beating you out of what God bless you with. As the old people say, don't fatten a frog for a snake, but that snake keep getting that frog because of this type of curse. And then it said, let none extend mercy to him. No matter where you go, you can't find favor. Huh? You can't find favor in your family. You can't find favor in your husband's family, your wife's family. You can't find favor on the job. You can't find favor at the park. You can't find favor where favor is abundant. That's a hell of a curse. That's why I don't play with this song. But a lot of people go in this song and they be reading this song. This is that dangerous song because you're not just cursing the person. You're cursing generations. Unborn children. And it said, and let there be any and let there be any to favor his fatherless children. That's what I want y'all to understand. If those energies are at work, you're going to find out through ancestor reading. But if you're going to do ancestor reading, be prepared for cleansing. Be prepared for protection. In other words, be prepared to spend some money. That is not a door you open up until you're ready to deal with. It's just like making a decision to go to college. If you're not ready for the college life, it don't matter what age you are, then don't do it. If you're not ready to become an RN, then don't do it. It's like when you get ready to knock on that door, you don't control what comes through that door after you done knocked. 2023 is about being grown. It's about understanding. It's about clarity. It's about knowing what I'm spending my money for, what I'm spending my time for. You have spirits that you may have on your altar that don't want you in certain things, and they fight you. Yes, I do ancestral reading, but I do them very differently than most people. I really do. Because my objective with ancestors is to either elevate them where they can assist you, or you move that particular ancestor and let another ancestor that's really going to help you come through. Because some of you guys have already did veneration to ancestors and awakened those spirits, and some of those spirits need to be put back down. Just being honest with you. Some of those spirits serve you no purpose. They did not live a good life when they were living, and they're not going to help you live one by you having them venerating them. I hope this is making some sense and why you would do it. But once again, once you bring an ancestor into your spirit and allow them to be in your spirit, you can't pick and choose. You got to bring all of them. Like in my bloodline, I have to watch their heart issues. When you working with certain spirits and they died of heart issues, you have to protect yourself from that. Just like if your child came in and got a cold, you can still nurture your child and protect yourself from getting a cold. You understand? Family can't hate on you from the dead. Exactly, Shamari. Exactly. People don't think about that. Like you can't. And the reason I'm saying is because, especially in our black culture, we like to lie about who our family is. We like to lie about why them two sisters don't get along, which are your aunties. Why them two uncles don't get along, if they feel that way when they were living, they're gonna feel that way dead. And say, for instance, I'm just going to say this. Like, I got a great uncle that don't like one of my uncles, right? And he's passed. Say for instance, if I was living with my uncle, right? And my great uncle done passed, but I'm doing my conjure work, I'm doing my spell work. So I decided to contact my great uncle because he's good in business and because I'm trying to do a business spell. So I got him on my altar, right? So I'm venerating him to get my business together, my money right, because that's what I wanted him there for, right? I put no stipulations on him. I didn't tell him you can only come to this altar, blah, blah, blah. I ain't do none of that, right? So I'm in my other uncle's house because I'm working with my great uncle, but I'm in my other uncle's house doing my work. I venerate this man. I'm strengthening this man. And now this man is in this other man's house he don't like. He still may help me in business, but he going to start causing problems for my other uncle. Because he don't like him. He didn't like him when he was living. And he's going to start causing problems. And the more I venerate my great uncle, the stronger he's going to get and the more he's going to be able to affect the life of my uncle. Everybody you venerate don't like other people that you around. But you're giving them access to your space. Because the only thing you're concerned about is what you want. And that's why you got to have somebody that trains you. So you will be aware of certain things and certain mentalities that you need to have. Why you should have somebody over you and guiding you so when certain things happen, they can put them spirits back in check. Because sometimes we don't know what all y'all talking to y'all ancestors about. I don't care if that is your mother. I don't care if that is your father. They got issues. And you need to acknowledge those issues. Just because they're spirit don't mean they don't have those issues. If they have not been elevated, they have not been cleansed, they still have those issues and they can bring those issues into your life. And you would think somebody else on the outside bringing them issues when it's your own ancestors bringing those issues. Because that's the energy that they're walking in. Are you cleansing and elevating your ancestors on your ancestor altar? Are you venerating them, but are you elevating them? Are you just feeding them? You're strengthening them in their energy where they are. You're not trying to give them, say, listen, I'm going to give you this hyssop, or I'm going to contact me a practitioner, and I want them to fix me a cleanser so I can give it to my ancestors. And once again, just like a doctor, it has to be somebody you trust. I'm not telling you whether you trust work with me or whatever, but some things you don't have the skill set to do and you need help. So therefore you can get them at a certain place where they're not causing havoc in your life. That's all I'm simply saying. It's not just finding out what bloodline, what they practice, but how they're going to play a part in your life. And how much are you going to allow them to play a part in your life? It's maintenance when it comes to the ancestral environment. Yes. Yes, Shamar. Yes, yes, double yes. Yes. Just like you would have to take care of a grandmother or a grandfather or elderly person, ancestral work is maintenance work. No different than keeping up a garden or keeping up the lawn or anything that has maintenance of hair, whatever it is. Ancestral work takes money that most people do not have or even consider when they start doing ancestral work. So we said finding out who is the God or goddess of your fathers, whether it's God of Abraham, Isaac, or Jacob. Then we talked about why certain things happen in your life when spirits are trying to reveal their presence in your life. And then we also talked about Psalm 109, how certain things are going on in the bloodline because people have read Psalm 109, 8 through 12 on some family member and nobody did anything about it, whether it was in hoodoo, voodoo, Santeria, Lukumi, Congo, Palo, it don't matter. And then how did they utilize the magic if they were initiated? Stop running up there because I'm just using myself as an example because my kids know that I'm initiated. And what kind of life did I live and what kind of work did I do with my magic? If all I did was dirty work, when my kids come to me for things that are positive, I'm not going to be able to do nothing but for negative for them. And I'm going to find a negative way to work it. Because that was my mentality when I was living. This is deep. And especially when your ancestors do not want or like cheap things. Exactly. If they like the nice things when they were living, they want a nice thing. And if you don't give it to them, they gonna get it one way or the other. Some of y'all think people working on y'all, and a lot of times it's just that you done upset your ancestors because you didn't do what they wanted you to do. And especially if they're helping you and you didn't keep your obligation, because you know we very big on not keeping our word. Because a part of magic is being a man or woman of your word and being consistent by which you operate. I didn't realize how much it takes to have them with you. Yes. Oh my God. If y'all see my environment, like I have a lot of stuff going on, a lot of stuff to maintain. And guess what? A lot of times, because I'm trying to keep up with my spiritual stuff, my housework get behind, stuff like that, because it's a lot of work. And I don't want anybody getting into this not realizing how much work it is. That's from animal sacrifices, because if they practice certain ATRs, you have to sacrifice certain animals. You have to give them certain food. Like, it is costly. But listen, if you do it correctly, you're dedicated, you're called to doing this work, they will make a way for you. I ask my elevated and my benevolent Eguns to protect me and from the ancestors that mean me harm and not here for my greater good. That is also a good way of addressing. Let me say this, because this is another thing people don't think about. Not only can your unelevated ancestors cause a problem in your life, your elevated ancestors cause a problem in your life. I'm going to tell you why. They know where you're supposed to be. If you are a procrastinator, your elevated ancestors are going to whoop your ass. Your unelevated ancestor is about the tomfoolery. Your elevated ancestor is about that business. I need y'all to think about that. You ever have that family member, he or she's all about business, they about their money, they about their business, they don't play. Same way. Because when we say these things, it sounds like, okay, these are better. No, actually, they can be actually harder on you than an ancestor that's not elevated. Because they know where you're supposed to be. And they know that you're being hard-headed. They know that you're taking your time. And then they will implement themselves in your life as well. This is what I need y'all to know this. Obedience is better than sacrifice. It's said for a reason. No matter what religion you're in, if you're going to work with spirit or spirits, you need to understand that. And if you're working with higher elevated spirits, it's just like being in the army. The more you elevate, the more you are demanded to follow instruction, because other people are under you. Much is given, much is required, so to speak. I mean, yes, I enjoy the benefits of being a powerful magi, but I also have to deal with the responsibilities that come along with being a powerful magi. Exactly. And I need them to guide me my path and keep it right. Yeah. Natasha, I think that like the way you think is the reason why you are growing the way that you're growing, renewing your mind. And I tell you guys all the time, it is such a lifestyle. It really is. And I think that certain one of y'all do, like I say certain things to you because to be dedicated to this, other people like, oh, you wasting your time, you wasting your money, you wasting your energy, because they don't see a benefit in this. And every time you elevate the ancestors of the bloodline, the whole family benefit. The whole family benefit. Being a living sacrifice is what it really is. You will be out here doing the work, and the bloodline will get the benefit of the karma, the good karma that you are exuding. That's how it works. You came or born in a family to do a certain work. Either you're going to make it better or you're going to make it worse. If people in your family are going to practice magic, you need to figure out, like, what is y'all doing with that magic? Is y'all tearing up people's homes? Is y'all causing havoc in people's life? I've been in a season off whipping right now. I've been in a season off whipping. Yeah, I think that, I hope that what I'm saying today brings more clarity. I hope I open your mind to look at your ancestry in a more sober-minded way, to understand it's still a relationship with spirits and understanding who they are, and also knowing what perimeters to allow them. Listen, you allowed to be here, but you're not allowed to go over here. You allowed to help me with this, but do not get involved in my love life. You have to talk like that, because if you don't, you're giving them permission to wander through your life. And if somebody's going to do work with you, your ancestors got to be with that. They have to want to work with that individual. If your ancestors are messy, they probably not going to want to work with me. They're not going to want to work with me. Because some ancestors, some energies, they not trying to change. They ain't trying to elevate. You have to inquire what spirits want to come forth and elevate with you and work with you. That's why I was asked the question. Even for my clients, okay, which one of y'all, if I go to the cemetery, who wants to work? Who wants to work with me? I don't go out there, you gonna do this. No. It's always better to work with spirits that want to work with you. You have, Apostle, open up major clarity. Thank you. This makes sense, and I will definitely look into this and get ready for ancestry. Yeah, and the thing about it, guys, just keep in mind, just like you a whole person and that people don't know all of you, and there's people out there that think they know you based off of their interaction with you, the same thing when it comes to a spirit or an entity or God. Most people only responding to a spirit or an entity based on what they've read or what they heard. It's not due to relationship. Very few people are speaking from a relationship base when it comes to certain spirits. And that is not good. That is not good. You need to deal with people that have relationship with the spirits that they work with. That's why I know what I can do from what I can't do. I know what I can work with, what I can't work with. I know where I can go, where I can't go. I know how to stay in my lane. All right. I hope this helped. Thank you guys for hitting that like button and sharing my videos. I will be coming on here later, doing readings and whatever else I have to do. But I think that this needs to be shared, whether you get a reading with me or not, whether you work with me or not. There's too many of you guys out here that do not understand ancestors, and you do not understand readings. You don't. It is not for entertainment. It is just like the doctor. You're trying to figure out what's going on because there's something you want to address. If you see a leak, you know you need a roofer. If you see a leak in the ceiling, you know you need a roofer. If you see a leak in the bathroom, you need a plumber. You understand? You're doing a diagnosis test to figure out what's going on and to be able to address what's going on, not just to find out what's going on and say, "Oh, I got a leaky leaf. A leaky roof, or I got a leak in the bathroom." It's only going to get worse. Address that so other people in your bloodline don't have to address it. Okay? Thank you guys so very, very much. Oh, thank you so much, Natasha Foster, for that love offering. I appreciate that. Y'all, that goes a long way. It really does. Natasha, I appreciate that gesture of love. I really, really do. I'm fighting for y'all. I'm putting myself in a lot of ways in positions because I just do not see people teaching and bringing clarity, and even people doing ancestor readings not really understanding what they're doing and opening doors with ancestors. They're not cleaning themselves. They're not protecting you. We got to do better. This is our year, but we got to do better, and we cannot do it without truth. I'm just sorry. I don't care if you're an Ifa priest. I don't care if you're in Lakumi. I don't care if you Congo. I don't care if you deal with the dead. I'm not concerned about that. Without truth, we cannot grow. Without understanding, taking responsibility for what we are allowing to come into our life, how can we progress? We need it. She said, "You the GOAT, Apostle Ela." Thank you, hon. It's a bad. Sometimes I feel like a sheep. But for going for the slaughter. But I really appreciate many of you guys. When I get ready to do my classes, I hope you have an idea, a better idea of what to expect and how I'm going to challenge you in those classes and what you investing into. Because I'm here to do real magic, and I can't do magic without you guys at least having basic knowledge about certain things that we're doing. This is something I've been doing all my life. I was born to do this. So I have to always look at situations very differently than other people look at them. You better say that, Apostle, bro. True. Yeah. Hey there, Harvey. And when we, because I did some sacrifices at the church. If you ever get a chance to come to my church, I think the experience of seeing pots in my church and incense burning and sacrifices and dances, if it's the house of God and he's the creator, she's the creator of all things, then all his tools should be in the house, right? All his tools should be in the house. All his instruments should be in the house, because he's the creator of all of these things. And so therefore, I'm a very open-minded person, and I really appreciate those that are going to travel with me in this journey, and to see all that will be revealed and unfolded in this walk. Okay? My name is Apostle Ely. I'm the pastor and apostle of Apostolic Faith of Jesus Christ Incorporated. My beliefs are deeply rooted in African traditions. Guys, thank you so much for your support, your love, your likes, your shares, and whatever you do to support what I'm out here doing. And thank you for looking and checking for Apostle Ely. No matter what time I come on, you guys are checking for me. But if you came in late in this live, go back to the beginning and get the full circumference of what I was talking about. One thing you don't want to do, don't just go to the part of the movie when you came in. Make sure you get the full understanding of what I'm talking about so you can benefit. So if you get a reading, if you get a working from me, if you get a class from me, you have a better understanding of the mentality of this practitioner. Okay? I don't really say a protector. I'm using the word practitioner, but I'm a performer. I perform the works. I don't like the word practitioner because I feel like I'm practicing. I ain't really practicing. I'm effective in what I do. Okay? But thank you so much. I appreciate that. See that? Yes, I have to replay. Yes. Okay. Much love to you guys. I'll see you guys a little later.